Welcome to Wright Holdings of Shreveport LLC's page on the Young Professionals and Entrepreneurs blog. I want to briefly summarize my involvement in real estate as a manager of Wright Holdings of Shreveport, particularly as it relates to the CPA professional services that I offer to real estate professionals, real estate investors, or even individuals just passively holding real estate. See, my wife and I started Wright Holdings of Shreveport in November of 2012 as a result of holding on to our house that we actually bought a new home around that time after the birth of our second child. Bought a new home that has a little bit more space, and instead of selling the house that we were in, our initial home, we just made the decision that we would hang on to it and rent it out, particularly because we actually had already arranged for one of our neighbors to rent it from us. It just so happened that she was moving out of her house across the street and was looking for a new place and really liked the neighborhood. So that's how Wright Holdings of Shreveport started. It started as just a owning one rental property and leasing out just a single family residence, leasing that property out and just managing it. And then a little bit thereafter, a family member approached Tiffany and I about a house that they were looking to sell. It's kind of a similar situation where they had purchased a new home and were then still had not sold their house that they were living in, and so they were stuck with two mortgages. And instead of doing what we did in leasing out the first one, they didn't want to have anything to do with that, and they're motivated to sell. So they approached us with a proposition to buy the house as is, and for the amount that would alleviate their mortgage, and then we could take the property and do with it what we wanted. And just so happens that I reached out to a friend of mine that is a real estate agent and had been in the Shreveport-Bossier market for the last 8 years or so, and we decided we would make a run at flipping it. And anyway, so we did a little joint venture where Wright Holdings of Shreveport became a partner in a new venture called Caddo Realty Partners. And so that was our second venture into real estate, where we did a flip to a home in the Southern Hills neighborhood of Shreveport. And another little joint venture that we entered into was where we bought a distressed property that was just about to go into foreclosure. And this is more of a development type project, I guess you could say. It was really a complete remodel where we bought the house and just really pretty much went in there and gutted it, completely redid it, with the intent of holding onto it as an investment after we finished. Whether or not we were going to sell it or as a flip or hold on to it and rent it was a decision that we ended up making later on after we completed the remodel job. But so that was where we ended up having two rental properties in the Shreveport-Bossier market, one in University Terrace, one in Broadmoor Terrace. And then lastly, our most recent acquisition is a commercial office suite on Fern Avenue, and we purchased that. And so that's our first venture into commercial real estate. So that gives a little rundown of kind of the different transactions I've been involved with real estate and some of the different responsibilities I've had involved forming LLCs, dissolving LLCs related to investment to the real estate ventures, and maintaining the books, doing the accounting, maintaining the records, uh, updating QuickBooks files, preparing tax returns for partnerships and single member LLCs, and which leads me into really the services that I most frequently offer to real estate professionals or real estate investors. Involves entity formation, specifically LLCs, formations and dissolutions, transaction analysis, more of a consulting type engagement where, uh, looking at, for example, when a property is purchased, allocating purchase price to land versus the building or the improvements on the property. Um, Other types of services that provide related to real estate involve QuickBooks setup, QuickBooks or bookkeeping services, rental income, cash receipts and disbursements, recording related to tenant lease payments, and then lastly, of course, tax planning and preparation. But that's a little summary of the real estate, my involvement in real estate activities related to Wright Holdings of Shreveport. If you ever have any questions or concerns or looking for some input or advice related to accounting or bookkeeping or real estate tax or real estate accounting, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be glad to help in any way I can. Thanks.